Hey kids, welcome back to Awesome Stuff Badly. I'm Uncle Dr. Ernie, and I've been beating my head against the wall for the last 2 hours of screen time and 4 hours of real time. But that's okay, because that's the whole goal, to do awesome stuff badly to show that you can too. In our last episode, we made a little bit of progress when I realized that I had no idea what I was doing, and I should go back and look at the actual reactive coffee examples, which has all sorts of useful things, including a page that I had forgotten, which is the Quick Start examples before the tutorial, where it tells you how to lay things out very nicely for sample code. So let's start with that now. These are all the things I very painfully and laboriously didn't know how to do for the last hour or so, right here in front of my eyes. So, looking at the code, we see all of our little script tags here. jQuery, jQuery UI, which I'm hopefully going to get around to using someday, underscore, CoffeeScript, and Reactive-Coffee. And ES5 shim because friends don't let friends do IE. Next, we have TextScript and a little bit of a thing called a preamble, which is where we set up the code that lets us do everything else. So let's go ahead and throw that up there at the beginning. And then go ahead and add this little body append thing, which is probably the magic sauce that I needed to make something show up. And still nothing. Okay. We're not getting an error message, which is good. The indentation looks a little funny, and JavaScript sometimes gets kind of persnickety about that. So if we just throw that in there, let's look at this quick start. Forget this. JS field, let's look at the quick start example. Bind equals RxBind, import tags, mix in. Example code goes here. Okay. Body, script, source, text equals CoffeeScript. Yes. It's here. The code is all there, nicely aligned and formatted. Looking pretty much exactly like the copy there. Okay, I'll try a few things like removing the paragraph tag, which should just give us nothing whatsoever. Doesn't seem like it's helping. Okay, let's check the versions of everything on the off chance. Heck with it, let's just grab this whole swallow of code right here. Actually, before you do it, let's just go ahead and save this. And this does exact same nothing, with no code whatsoever. Wait, is that actually what I had there? Yes, example code there. Extra example here. Whoa, that was freaky. Wrong fingers on the keyboard. It's in the body, in the script tag. Okay. Now we know this works in the JS fiddle. So, right? Right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Well, actually, let's try that. Copy this code into the GS fiddle. Hey, okay, there it works. It's an iframe, but still. HTTP sandbox. This underscore normalize Reactive-Coffee. Just say. Pretty much exactly what I'm doing here. In fact, can we open frame a new tab? Frame a new window? It's not going to be better, is it? Nope. How about show frame source? Single slash JS looks a bit odd, but save frame as. So let's see. Okay, now that's interesting. Web archive. Shows it there. Why do I have 2 copies of that? I do not know. That was kind of funky. But I have a file that at least. Can I not save as HTML? So what I want to do is try and save this thing as HTML and see if I can figure out what's the difference between what I was doing and what it's doing. Let's just copy it and see what happens. It's all in my head. It seems unlikely to make a difference, but it might be worth a try. New. Let's try this thing again. Okay, so example, static HTML. Oops, that's it. Run. Okay. Save frame as. Here we go. .html. Now here's the real question. Will that actually render CoffeeScript? It does not. Now, the question is, can we tell why? Let's open it up here. Now, it could be because we don't really have the URL for CoffeeScript in place. CoffeeScript. Or it could be because we don't have our little HTTPs. Ooh, progress. We have an HTML file that works. Let's go back here. And tie this up. Yeah, not really. Let's just brute force copy all this stuff over and see if it makes a difference. Not sure why I have underscore string here, but we will grab everything first and worry about minimalizing things later. Okay, this is just weird. Let's go ahead and okay, this is good. We've got two reproducible cases, one that works, one that did work. Okay, now I'm officially weirded out. I removed white space and suddenly it stopped working. Pretty sure HTML is not supposed to be white space sensitive. Oh, maybe it's the indentation problem from the... Let's just make this smaller so we can do this more conveniently since it's a tiny bit of HTML. Okay, let's make this a little more. And just see if these make any difference. Okay, pretty minimal setup. And check my intuition that this thing still works. Or, nope, still does not. Okay, let's just something silly, not like something silly where like there's some tab characters there throwing everything off. Tabs are the spawn of the devil, but they're not spawning this particular devil, which I guess is backwards. But anyway, okay, let's just paste this in here on the off chance that. Okay, what the heck? Okay, so apparently that mix in stir exports thing makes a huge difference, exactly where it goes and when it goes. Which this is the version in the JS Fiddle which worked, and this was the version in the QuickStart examples which did not work. I'm going to file an issue with that because though I lost lots of time on my own stupidity, this one appears to be a documentation bug, and somebody needs to know about that. So, issues are angry reactive coffee. So, da, 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 da. So in using what's the markdown business here? Using this. So I'll grab this thing here that does work. Typo in the typo in the documentation or markdown. What is the code block? Should that be a code block? Link to the fiddle, which does work properly. Okay, well, I'm not getting the nice fancy font, but I have at least filed a bug so that the person who maintains that document can look at it and fix it if necessary. And phew, after all that, I finally have a semi-working um, piece of HTML. Yay! Okay, let's go ahead and check that in now. Now, oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to check was whether this underscore string business was actually relevant for the problem, for the solution. Yes, it was. Let's go ahead and mention that in issues 2. Okay. It's only been 20 minutes into this session, but I am so relieved that I got something to work and I figured out some bugs that weren't my fault, even though a lot of them, in fact, most of them really were. That I think I'm going to take my break now and relax and enjoy myself briefly, and then we'll go through figuring out how to make this work with the real code. Thanks for putting up with all the insanity, and remember, you too can do awesome stuff badly. Good.